Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 2. You can see I got the wagon pulled into the garage here and just sort of assessing the situation here. You can see I've got sort of some furniture stacked up here. I think I'm going to have to take that stuff out, move it to my basement or something, just so I have a little bit of room in front of the car and maybe make a little more room in the rear when I have the garage door closed. You'll see this dog here. This is Finny, and he's the reason why I'm having to push back starting any work on this car for another week, because I've got to take him to the vet. We had to take his brother to the vet today, and we got to take him tomorrow. So I'm not going to have a whole lot of money to buy parts right now. But what I did do is, obviously, you see I brought the car into the garage. I also made myself, this area, by the way, was full of exercise equipment, which I sometimes used and sometimes didn't. More often I didn't, but I've made myself a triage list, and I'm not going to ask you to read it, but I assume if you've searched 300 TD wagon and come across this video, I'm going to assume that you know what triage means, because usually dummies aren't interested in these cars. Maybe I've got it wrong. Maybe only dummies are interested in these cars. Maybe I'm a dummy. But anyway, I got a little triage list here, and what I've done is I've separated the repairs I need to do into 3 categories. Category 1 is things that are, mechanical in the sense that they're sort of necessary for the function of the car. Non-essential mechanical, safety is included in that first category. Non-essential mechanical, and cosmetic. So, as we've established, I don't really know what I'm doing. So if I'm not going to know what I'm doing, I at least want to do it in a somewhat organized fashion. So I wanted to come up with some sort of plan. So I'll point this out to you guys. This guy here, you can see, is broken, and I'm not sure exactly what's going to take to fix that, but it's on my list. It's on my non-essential mechanical list, but I wanted to get a plan together, and also, while I'm thinking about it, I wanted to get a plan together so that I'm not just sort of firing blind in the dark, I wanted to, let me point this out to you guys if you can even see it. One of the things I got to do in this garage is do something about how poor the lighting is in certain areas of it. And yeah, you're not going to be able to see that at all. I'll try to point it out in another video. Basically, it's another patch of rust that I had seen, but I didn't point out in the first video, inside the door jamb. But the first category I'm going to focus on is obviously the safety and mechanical. Hey, Finny. Which is going to include lots of brake work. I've been told by a buddy of mine who owns a Mercedes, a place, a mechanic shop that just deals with these older Mercedes. He sort of looked it over for me for a small fee, and was put together a list. And on that list, he says I'm going to need new master cylinder and all new brake lines, and obviously new fluid. For the transmission, it's going to need shifter bushings, transmission cooler hoses, a new transmission mount, flush and fill, probably a new filter, I guess I'm trying to talk, but I'm also at a loss as to where to aim this camera, because you've seen the car a million times. And I'm not gonna put myself on camera. Let's all just operate under the assumption that I'm incredibly handsome. As far as the engine goes, it's gonna need a valve adjustment, which I'm gonna attempt to do myself. I've always had my buddy do them on my sedan, but I think I'm gonna try to do it myself. I'll probably get the kit from Mercedes Source with those specialized wrenches. It's going to need new motor mounts, belts. It's going to need coolant flush. It's going to need the air filter bracket, which I referenced in the first episode of this. It's going to need new power steering return hose. It's going to need a steering damper, which I'm not even sure what a steering damper is. Once again, this is the Idiot's Guide to the W123, and I am your idiot. So I'm not exactly sure what a steering damper is. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that myself or not. Both rear axles, rear sway bar links, and of course the rear suspension stuff I'm going to have to dig into. I'm not exactly sure what that's going to entail. But that's the long and short of the first category, the mechanical / safety category. Brakes are a pretty big safety item. You guys heard the list. I won't go through the other two categories in this episode, but I would love it if you guys who maybe are more knowledgeable about this than I am, if you would go and comment and just let me know if there's anything on that list that I should not attempt to do myself. I'm a big boy and I'm willing to learn some things. I don't want to do anything that's going to be too incredibly dangerous. So if you would let me know, that'd be great. And I don't know if I finished talking about the exercise equipment that was over here, but anyway, I sold that stuff. And the money that I got from the sale of that equipment, I'm going to use to buy some things for the garage. Not necessarily parts for the car yet. I'm going to need to buy a decent jack, because the only jack that I have is the one that came with the car. And I'm going to need to buy some jack stands if I'm going to be taking those tires off to get to brake lines and all that stuff. I'm going to need to be able to put the car up. And some new lighting. So those are sort of the items I'm going to go to first. I plan on getting that stuff this weekend. Once again, that depends on how much this guy's going to cost me at the vet. So thanks for watching, and I don't know when the next video will be, but I'll get to it when I can.